Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting down to do the October art journal spread for my mini Gorjuss stamp series. This month my theme is Halloween and I've chosen stamp number 49, Piracy. I am also teaming up this stamp with two die sets from Sizzix, the Haunted House one and the Trick or Treat one with all the children in black silhouette. I'm also reaching for two stencils by Tim Holtz, the Bone and Skull set and the Halloween script. So right off the bat, I have everything ready. I've cut out my die cuts, I have stamped and colored in my Gorjuss girl. So I just wanted to get right into the technique which I've chosen for this month. I thought I would try my hand at the paint resist technique, and so for this technique all you need to do is grab some paint and a stencil. I'm choosing to apply my paint with a round dauber, and I'm just being very gentle here to tap on top of the stencil. The stencil has some sharp jagged edges that sometimes catches on if I rub in a circular motion, so tapping is usually a better option for me. So I'm going to apply that design on both pages. I've also decided to do a double spread this month. I only have a few more months to go, and this month I could afford to do a double spread, so I'm really happy with that. So for the second stencil, I chose a different color. This time I'm using white, and what I decided to do is add the white stenciling to the periphery of the art journal layout. So where there is no pattern from the first one, I'm choosing to add some of the Halloween words. I'm also going right in the middle between the two pages, and again on the left hand side. I'm making sure that I'm drawing in between each application so that I don't smudge any of the pattern. It's now time to apply some color, so I'm reaching for classic Halloween colors. I've got Carved Pumpkin, Mowed Lawn, and Dusty Concord, all in the Distress ink range. I'm also grabbing all the different sponges so I don't contaminate any colors, and I am going to add some color to the background. And the most wonderful thing is that the paint, which is made of acrylic, resists the ink. So where there's a black pattern, you probably won't notice the resistance as much because you're going to think that it's just the black, but where there is white, you will see the resist show ever so nicely, and the darker the color of ink that you add, the more resist you see. So here where I'm adding the Dusty Concord, the resist is coming up so beautifully. I had so much fun doing this technique. I don't know why I don't do this more often. I think I'm gonna just do this paint resist technique for a while until I'm sick of it. I don't even know if I ever can get sick of it. What I'm doing now is I'm adding walnut stain around the edges, and like I said earlier, the darker the ink that you use, the more profound or the more bold your resist will be. So that's looking really nice. And I also decided to add one more color, which is the black soot. So I'm going to do that to the edges as well, and you'll see just how nicely that frames the whole layout. You can see here with the application of the brown that the word lost and the bat and the spider show up in the middle of the page, and I just love that. Just feels like magic to me. Going around the edges now with the black soot, and I really love that combination of colors. The brown looks really good with those three Halloween colors, and the black just really makes it stunning. I also decided that I don't like the finger daubers anymore. I think they're a lot of work compared to how easily you can apply with those circular daubers. And so here I'm just adding it with the actual felt pad. I feel like I get more ink on, and then I can just spread the ink around with the finger dauber. Alrighty, so my background is done, and as I was making this background, I actually made a few changes. So I decided that little Miss Piracy was going to invite her friend Jar of Hearts, which is stamp number 50. And then I decided that there was just too much going on with the haunted house. So I decided to remove the haunted house, and I decided to make a whole row of children in the back. So these kids are all going trick-or-treating. The two girls are kind of like the ringleaders, so they're in the front knocking on doors. And when you open your door, you look out and see a whole sea of kids. Now, this kind of sparked a memory for me. Back in 1984, my mom watched Children of the Corn. I don't know, have you ever seen that? So I was like 7 years old in 1984 when that movie came out. It's a Stephen King horror movie, and that show totally scared the crap out of me. I remember one night my mom hired it out at the video store, and she was watching it with my dad, and I wasn't allowed to watch it with them, obviously, but I saw the VHS cover sitting on the counter, and it looked so creepy, and I just couldn't sleep that night. And I remember hearing noises from the theater, and oh, it was so scary. So thanks a lot, Mom. You scarred me for life. So what I also decided to do was I reached for stamp number 3 called the Pretend Friend. And so I kind of had this vision of the little sister wanting to tag along with her older sister and saying, "Wait for me, I want to come too." And she gets her little, fox on wheels and wants to go trick-or-treating with all the other kids. How many times do we have that little sister who wants to tag along, which is so annoying? So I was going through some of my Tim Holtz ephemera, and I found a creepy photo of kids standing there in the field with their hose, and I thought, yes, definitely this is going to be my theme. Creepy children. This is definitely going to add to my story. So I decided to ink that up with vintage photo, and I added that to my spread. I found this little tile that says October, so that will remind me that that's my October spread. I also found in the ephemera pack a little circular piece that says 31, and so that's nice because that's really evident in the corner there instead of the owl, which I had originally. And lastly, I die cut the word from that Trick or Treat die set, and I added glitter to it, and that's when I sat down to make embellishments earlier. You might have watched my previous video where I compared adding glitter to texture paste or matte medium, so I had made this Trick or Treat embellishment in that video, and I love that stark green glitter effect on that page. I'm just adding the pull string for the little sister's play toy, and just having a look at my page here, and I just love it. It does seem a little bit busy, but it evokes like memories of the past, and it's such a fun page that I hope you enjoyed watching me make it anyway. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Have a great October, and I'll be back with the October paperclip for my 12 mini Gorjuss paper clips of 2018. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you in my next video.